Princess Witch had just woken up from her adventure getting the gray crystal. She thought how fun it was to hang out with the wood elves, and she flew down to the breakfast table where her parents were already starting breakfast. She sat down and told them all about the gray crystal adventure where she had to go through the dream world to obtain it. And she had lots of questions about how they knew so much about the dream world, and especially questions about Mr. Owl or Grandpa Witch. So she said, "Mom, Dad, how did you know so much about the dream world?" King Witch said, "Well, honey, every witch goes on adventures. You don't think I got to become King Witch for no reason. I am one of the most powerful witches of all the land." Queen Witch said, "Yes, dear, we as royal witches have to go through trials ourselves. And although they might be a little different, there are a lot of things that are in common. Your dad and I have both been in the dream world before, so we know all about it." "Oh, wow," Princess Witch thought. "I thought I was the only one who'd ever done any of these quests to get all the crystals. So how is it that Mr. Owl is actually Grandpa Witch?" King and Queen Witch looked at each other. Oh boy, she had found out. They said, "This is a story for another time. We'll tell you a little bit more, but we know that you need to go figure out what getting the gray crystal means. What are you going to do?" And Princess Witch said, "Well, I guess I have to go down to the basement in the archives of the witches in the witch library and find out." So she finished up breakfast and she ran down to the basement where the archives and the library were, and she opened the book where all the crystals had been. And she turned to the last page and she put in the brown, the orange, and the gray crystals. The book opened up finally. It had opened to the last page, and it said, "You must continue on to the second book of the secrets in order to obtain the ultimate witch power and become the most powerful witch ever." So, the scripture in the book said she had to find the other book, so she ran through the library and searched and searched. She found a second book, but it could not be opened. There was a keyhole at the start of the book, and she had to find a key. Oh boy. So she went back to the other book and she read a little bit more, and it said she had to go on an adventure that was much longer than the other adventures so far. She had to collect multiple items in order to obtain the key. The first would be a map. She had to find a map that would show where in the witch kingdom or the witch world the key would be. So that said she had to go to a desert oasis, which is like a lush area that's separate from the desert, where there's probably a lake and some plant life. And so Princess Witch thought, "Wow, I have quite the adventure ahead of me. I better get started." She ran upstairs, she grabbed all her stuff. She grabbed her wand, she grabbed her broom, she grabbed her sword, her shield, and her grappling hook, and she was about to head out the door when her parents stopped her, and King and Queen Witch said, "This adventure of yours that you're going on is going to take more than one day. We will give you a magical potion that can be used a few different times, so don't use it all at once. It's a potion to set up a tent and a campsite so that you can have shelter between the days of your adventure." And Queen Witch said, "I'm going to give you a magic potion too. It's a potion that will keep us in contact if you ever need us." Wow, Princess Witch thought, 2 potions? This is quite the adventure. So she thanked her mom and dad, and she took off. She flew out to the desert where she had found the yellow crystal, and she searched and searched and searched some more. She went all over that desert. She couldn't find the oasis. She remembered that in her travels to get the yellow crystal that there was something called a mirage. So she pulled out her silver shield and she looked around. Finally, she saw a dot out in the desert. She flew towards it with the help of her silver shield reflecting the sunlight away and vanishing the mirage. She found the desert oasis. It was one big lake surrounded by a bunch of palm trees and plant life. Wow, she thought, this is so neat. I never would have found this. Good thing I had my silver shield. She flew down towards the lake. She saw that she was going to have to get a little wet. So she hopped in the water and she became a mermaid. She used her powers that she had gained getting the aqua crystal and meeting the merfolk. And she swam down and deeper and deeper. The lake seemed to go forever. This surely was magical land. All of a sudden, she saw some merfolk down there. Hello, mermaids and mermen. How are you today? It were the same mermaids that had helped her before. She said, I'm on a quest. I need to find a map to help me find a key in order to become the most powerful witch. Oh, hello there, Princess Witch. It's nice to see you again, and we're happy to see that you've been using your magical powers, especially becoming a mermaid. They swam and played for a little bit and had a good time. And then Princess Witch said, I really have to be looking for a map. Well, the mermaid said, there is a treasure chest down in the deepest of depths, but it is guarded by a giant octopus. And you will have to get past the giant octopus in order to get that treasure chest and see what's inside. She said, no problem. I'm Princess Witch, and I will take care of a giant octopus. No problem. So she swam down there, and she got darker and darker. She used her wand to use a magic spell to cast light throughout the bottom of the lake. She finally got to the bottom. She saw the treasure chest. She swam down. She was about to get there, and all of a sudden there was a rumbling. There it was. A giant octopus had appeared. It had 8 huge tentacles. They were swirling about in the dusky bottom of the lake. It slapped her. Poof! Ah! Princess Witch went flying the other way. She used her fishtail to swim back and around the tentacle. She pulled out her sword and her shield. She used her grappling hook to get away from the tentacles. But there were so many of them. Boom, boom. Another barrage of tentacles came. Boom, boom. They slammed on her shield. She casted a magical protective spell. And she started firing lightning bolts out of her magic wand. Pew, 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 pew. The giant octopus was only phased a little. It just got more angry. Oh no, Princess Witch thought, what am I going to do? So she used her fishtail and swam as fast as she could. She was dodging and ducking the tentacles. They were starting to get tangled up. She got a couple of the octopus's arms tangled up. They were stuck in a knot. She had an idea. She would get all of the octopus's tentacles tangled into knots, and then she would cast the octopus aside with her magic. So she swam as fast as she could around a few more tentacles. Slap, slap, slap. They were just narrowly missing her. Slap, slap. But as she was swimming through, she was also swimming in a specific direction so that she could tangle the tentacles. She did it! She got all the tentacles tangled. But then the octopus sprayed it oil at her. Ah, it got in her eyes. She couldn't see. Oh no. She didn't really know where she was. All of a sudden she heard jump, jump, jump. She was right by the octopus's mouth. Oh no. Just then, pew, pew, pew. The giant octopus got hit with magic lightning bolts from the mer people with their tridents. They had come and rescued her. She cast a spell of clear vision so she could see again. And finally, with the help of the mermaids, they were able to cast the octopus aside. Pew, 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 pew. Princess Witch used a magic spell to keep it locked up and said, "I'll come back and help you later." So she opened the treasure chest. She swam down to the treasure chest and opened it up. She found in there, it was a box with a map in it. She took the map and she went back to the octopus and saw that the octopus was just an angry octopus because it had a loose tooth. She went in and fixed the tooth up, and she helped Mr. Octopus and untangled his giant tentacles. And because she was a mermaid, she could talk to the octopus. And she said, "Mr. Octopus, I fixed your tooth, and I untied your tentacles. You no longer need to be an angry giant octopus." Giant octopus said, "Thank you. I appreciate your help, Princess Witch. I have lived down here with a bad tooth for many years. No one has ever helped me." So she helped Giant Octopus, and she thanked the mer people. "Thank you so much for all your help. I've obtained the first item on my new quest to get the key." And so they swam up to the top, and she set the map out on the beach, and they played a little bit longer until the sun was going down. She thanked the merfolk for all their help, and she said, "I guess I'll set up some camp here." She caught some fish and made a fire, and she used the magic potion that her father, the king witch, gave her, and set up a camp. She ate some yummy, delicious fish, and she read herself a bedtime story. She laid down in her tent, which was nice and warm and snug, and it had everything. She brushed her teeth, and she laid down, and she fell asleep, ready for the next adventure tomorrow. The end.